Hey guys, it's Aaron and Andre. Today we're going to show you how to prove these two expressions right here using our trig identities that we've learned this past week. So, like I said, based on what we've learned, we know that secant theta is actually in fact 1 over cosine theta. Again, secant theta is 1 over cosine theta. Okay? So, as you can see, we're going to be working on this side of the equation, and we're going to try to see if it can equal this side of the equation. So just keep this in mind as I'm going through the work. So, since we're paying all the attention to this side, what I want to do first is I want to start simplifying this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this entire expression by 1. But I'm going to be using cosine over cosine. Now, since our numerator and denominator are the same, it will in fact equal 1. So, starting the denominator, when you multiply cosine times 1 over cosine, that essentially cancels out your two cosines, leaving you with 1. Now, over here in the numerator, it's a little different. When you distribute this cosine to this 1 right here, you're going to end up with another cosine. And when you distribute this cosine to this 1 over cosine, it's going to give you a 1. Now, for the sake of my next step, I'm going to rearrange this to 1 plus cosine, but it's still the same thing. Now, again, we're going to multiply our entire expression by 1, but this time, we're going to multiply it by 1 minus cosine over 1 minus cosine. Starting the denominator again, when you multiply 1 minus cosine times 1, what you're going to be left with is simply 1 minus cosine in your entire denominator. Now for the numerator, it's a little bit more complicated. We're actually going to FOIL our entire numerator. Imagine you have a parentheses here and your parentheses here. You're going to start with the first terms, which is 1 times 1. What you're going to get left with is 1. Now, in your outer terms, which would be 1 times a positive cosine, you get left with a positive cosine. This is where it gets interesting. For the inner part, you're going to have a negative cosine times a positive 1. So what you're going to be left with is a negative cosine. And for the last two terms right here, you're going to have a negative cosine times a positive cosine, which is going to give you a negative cosine squared. Now, combining like terms, getting rid of these, combining like terms, you would take the positive cosine and the negative cosine, and they'd equal 0, so we can get rid of those. And in the numerator, you're left with 1 minus cosine squared. Thanks to what we've learned about trig identities, we know that 1 minus cosine squared is actually equal to sine squared. And like I said, if you remembered back to our original equation, sine squared over 1 minus cosine is in fact equal to sine squared over 1 minus cosine. I hope this helped you understand how to work trig equations. Thank you.